91.3 FM. That's where you're listening to us. 94.1 on the dial here in Kamloops. They are a Kamloops couple who hunt ghosts and other paranormal activity. Can you imagine? And now they're looking for a spot on reality TV, piloting a show called True North Paranormal. We've invited Karina and John Kozuska into our studio. Nice to see you both. Thanks for coming in.
Well, thank you.
Thanks for having us.
You don't look like ghost hunters.
I'm not sure what ghost hunters are supposed to look like.
How did this start for you guys?
Well, I know for me, I was always fascinated as a little guy. It was actually the icebreaker that got me and Karina together.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've been always fascinated with things, all things scary, since I was young.
So do you actually hunt for ghosts? And if so, what does that look like?
In our experience, I mean, we're always looking for the evidence of the paranormal. I wouldn't necessarily say ghost because there's many different phenomenon you can experience or find. So ghost is a very loose term, wouldn't you say?
Yes.
Yeah.
How would you go about looking for evidence of paranormal? Do you get a phone call from somebody, or how does it start?
Typically, we get reached out to when we were first starting out, Karina and I, people would get a hold of us because they had experienced phenomenon, and people call people crazy for that all the time, and we're the one people that aren't going to.
Do you have an ad on the internet, Karina?
We don't really have an ad. We had a Facebook page, and people would message us through there.
And so give me an example of a time when you got a phone call and followed it up. Just tell us one story or two.
I guess we can talk about that house out, where was that?
Heffley Creek.
Heffley Creek. Yeah, I guess that one without mentioning names. That was kind of a weird one. They had this phenomenon happening where their little boy was getting scratched and he was afraid of his room.
You got the phone call, Karina. What happened?
We headed out to Heffley Creek, went into this house, and you could tell right away that the basement, the downstairs, didn't feel right. And the little boy's room felt really strange, and I particularly was drawn to the closet. Do you remember that?
Yep.
There was something strange about the closet.
Now, is it true that you use ghost hunting tools?
Yeah, it is. We use anything from thermal imaging to EMF detectors, from millimeters to REM pods.
So what do you do exactly? What happened at that house in Heffley Creek?
We did use sage. I think we had to go back there twice because, sometimes we do have to go back more than once because once does not fix the problem. The little children see things that we don't, and after we thought we were done, the little boy, remember he described what he was seeing?
Yeah, you described seeing some pretty nasty entities. I mean, I myself caught a really weird image in that house.
That's right.
I was using a thermal imager, and I don't usually get rattled myself. I can walk into a dark room and not bat an eye and not care what might or might not be there.
Like, I guess there must be a lot of people who are very skeptical about what you're saying right now. How do you prove to them that there is, first of all, that you're able to make a career of this, and secondly, that you're not just making this up?
I'm a believer that there really is no way to make somebody believe something. If they've made up their mind, you're never going to convince them because we're pretty set in our ways. So if somebody's set that ghosts don't exist, you're never going to convince them. You can capture all the evidence you want, and I've caught a lot.
So Karina, what was when did this all start for you? Like, what was it that convinced you that the existence of paranormal activity?
Probably as a young child. I always went off on my own. I don't know if I exactly had imaginary friends, but I always spent time alone, talking to things that weren't there. I think as a child even, I felt that there was more there.
And so in a situation like the house in Heffley Creek that you described, what would make a spirit haunt a place like that?
So land has a tendency to hold residual energy, and that's exactly what this was. It was this thing just didn't want to go.
Do you charge for your service?
No. We accept donations if the people feel obliged to, but no, we just want to help people. That's where it started.
How many calls might you get per month?
Oh, it really depends. Halloween, you get a lot of people saying there's a haunting in their house. It varies, really. It depends on the people. It depends on the circumstance. It depends on how bad the haunting's getting. We've had months where we've gotten none, and we've had months where we've gotten 8, 9, 10.
Wow. So where do things stand with this show? You're making a pilot, and what will the show be about?
We will be traveling to different locations that are said to be haunted. We investigate. I personally do a walkthrough and get a feel for which rooms are hot spots and which aren't, and we go from there. We do a nighttime investigation after that.
And where are you at with the pilot project? What needs to happen for this to hit the television airwaves?
The pilot right now is in its final stages, so it's getting ready to go to the editing suite. So we shot our pilot at the Vernon Town Theatre. Caught a lot of good things, so it's just a matter of sorting through the things.
So when do you expect for this to be completed, and are you going to send it to a big network, or what do you do?
Visland would shop us around. We have several channels looking for us right now, but...
Interesting. Well, thank you so much for coming in.
Well, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
That is Karina and John Kozuska, the ghost hunters behind